We come from and live on land considered sacred by indigenous people known as Bannock, Paiute, Shoshone, and many other tribes that lived here sustainably for thousands of years. We strive to understand and reframe our responsibilities to land, to community. In the spirit of respectful reciprocity, we honor the original caretakers of this place. We affirm the relationships we have to each other, including our relations to animals and insects that inhabit the water, land, and sky. We recognize the relationship, the responsibility to quiet creeks, rushing rivers, rustling grasses, to sprawling forests, to the brilliant palettes of the sky, to the roots that grip the soil, to the earth beneath our feet. Water is life. To all of us affected by the boarding school revelations, may we be granted compassionate understanding. May we find healing in the harm that lives in our history. We honor and support the right to sovereignty for our indigenous neighbors. We acknowledge that a land acknowledgement is not enough. Now, let us breathe together. Let us take a moment to enjoy the delicious air, the oxygen provided by tree. Hold to the warm light of sun. Consider the solidity, the groundedness of earth. Flow with refreshing, life-giving water. Let the mud settle. Find clarity of mind and spirit. Welcome our ancestors. Enjoy this present moment together.
Good morning. Welcome to the Boise Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. I'm the Reverend Sara LaWall. It is my great honor to serve this beloved community, joined by Patricia Heeb as our celebrant this morning. We are a spiritually diverse, justice-seeking religious community with one great aim: to grow in love. Love for neighbor, love for self, love for our planet. We want to welcome those who are joining us virtually on Zoom. Let's take a moment to wave to our Zoomers this morning. We also have a chance to see you here on our screen. So friends, for a moment, there you go. You're getting good at turning your cameras on. Excellent. Hello, everyone. Good to see your waves. You can wave at each other. Look, you got applause for turning your cameras on this morning. It's so good to know that you are out there with us, that we worship together as one beloved community beyond the walls of our sanctuary. All of who you are is welcome here. We welcome you wherever you are on your spiritual journey. Whomever you love, however you identify, however you pray, if you pray, whatever your religious and spiritual background, you are welcome here. A special welcome to our newcomers who might be joining us for the first few times. We do have a newcomers series that will be starting up in the new year, and we hope that you'll join us to learn more about this fellowship and Unitarian Universalism. I have a few announcements I want to share with the whole community. Our hospitality gratitude this morning goes to Sherry Hamilton, Ann Boyard, and Wendy Sharif. Thank you so much for nourishing us. A reminder about this week's holiday services. Join us this Thursday at 6 o'clock for our annual winter solstice service with candle lighting. We will begin outside in our courtyard, so bring a good coat and then we'll all come in and worship here together. And then Christmas Eve, as it falls on a Sunday, we have two different services. At 10 a.m., we're doing a fun, multi-generational pajama church day. You'll really want to come. We have a really exciting worship planned. called Unwrapping Christmas or something like that. I can't remember what I called it. And then our 5 p.m. traditional service, music, silent night, candle lighting. We hope that you and yours and whoever is celebrating the holidays with you will join us for those. If you are not here or you will be worshiping with us on Zoom and you would like a holiday worship gift bag full of all the bits that you will need to worship at home, candles and the like, please let Nancy know, and we have some elves who are willing to make home deliveries for those bags this year. As you know, this fellowship donates 25% of our unpledged plate offering to support a local organization whose mission aligns with our own. And this month in December, we are proud to be supporting the Idaho Crisis and Suicide Hotline, supporting all Idahoans who are struggling with suicidal thoughts, mental health, addiction, relationship challenges, and any other crises. If you or someone you know is struggling, you can call or text 988 at any time, day or night, and a trained crisis responder is ready to listen. Our spiritual theme for this month is reverence. And today we invite you to join in reverence for celebrations from around the world. In our Unitarian Universalist theology, what often sets us apart is that we don't follow a creed. We don't subscribe to a dogma. Rather, we believe that wisdom and truth are found in a variety of sacred and secular sources, including wisdom from the world's religions and the spiritual teachings of earth-centered traditions which celebrate the sacred circle of life. And we tend to focus our annual holiday celebrations often as a congregation on the neo-pagan winter solstice, on Hanukkah, and of course on Christmas. So today we thought we'd expand our reach a little bit and explore some celebrations and traditions from the African American community, Japan, India, and Native American tribes, honoring the wide variety of ways in which cultures around the world commemorate moments of significance and make meaning in rituals passed down through generations. And as is our December custom, we will close out today's service with our wild, extravagant, participatory rendition of the 12 Days of Christmas. Yes. I have a feeling that's why certain of you are here this morning. You read that and you're like, I'm going on that day. So stay with us for that. It is wonderful and fabulous. But let us take a moment to enter fully into this worship time together. Let us breathe together. Fill your body with breath. Breathe, knowing that our breath connects us to one another, to our bodies, and to this planet. Our breath offers us the opportunity for stillness, for presence, to tune in to our spiritual center, to listen deeply to our heart's own longing. Thou art the song of my heart in the morning. Thou art the dawn of truth in my soul. Thou art the dew of the roses adorning. Thou art the woven whole. Thine is the grace to be steadfast in danger. Thine is the peace that none can destroy. Thine is the face of the need-riven stranger. Thine are the wings of joy. Thou art the deep, to the deep in me calling. Thou art a lamp where my feet shall tread. Thy way is steep past the peril of falling. Thou art my daily bread. Thine be the praise of my spirit uplifted. Thou art the sea to each flowing stream. Thine be the days that are gathered and sifted. Thou art the deathless dream. We begin our holiday traditions exploration with Kwanzaa, and we're going to start by singing a hymn from our own hymnal, number 147 in the gray hymnal, When All the Peoples on This Earth, a hymn written in commemoration of Kwanzaa. Thank you. I'd like to invite any of our young people who are here with us to kind of come down front here this morning. Do we have any young people out there this morning? Just me and Jem? We'll take it. Good, thank you. Cece and Mac. Yes. I know, I see a few of you others out there. It's okay, you don't have to come. You can stay in your seats. We just sang this beautiful hymn about Kwanzaa, but we don't talk about Kwanzaa a lot in our midst. It kind of just sort of floats. Maybe, have you heard about it before? Have you heard about Kwanzaa before? Have you talked about it in school at all? Probably not here. California, we learned about Kwanzaa. So what I thought would be fun, actually, is we're going to watch a kids' news show from Canada that's going to help us learn a little bit about all of the celebrations of Kwanzaa.
Hi, I'm Eve Wedderburn. Did you know that thousands of Canadians celebrate Kwanzaa every year? But wait, what is Kwanzaa?
Kwanzaa is not African, it's African American. I didn't know about Kwanzaa till I came to Canada, but Kwanzaa is basically an African American celebration of peace and unity and cooperation with the Black American and Canadian communities.
It's a celebration that happens every year from December 26th to January 1st. People who celebrate Kwanzaa greet others by saying Habari Gani, which means what's the news? So let's check out what the news is. Come on.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You're here for Kwanzaa?
Yes, I am.
So Kwanzaa is a really important celebration for people of African descent, specifically African Americans and some African Canadians. Kwanzaa is very important because it celebrates principles and beliefs that are shared by people of African descent here and people of African descent on the continent of Africa. It was actually started in America. Can you believe that? The green, the red, and the black represent different things. We have candles on top as well.
And what does Kwanzaa mean to you?
So to me, you know, I'm from Zimbabwe. Even Zimbabwe is in which part of the world?
Africa.
Very good. Zimbabwe is in Africa. So in Zimbabwe, we don't actually celebrate Kwanzaa. But the principles of Kwanzaa are incorporated in some of our celebrations, like the whole spirit of umoja, of unity, of community. That's celebrated where I am from. But that word Kwanzaa was made up by Dr. Malema, who was from Kenya, who was in the States in the 1960s.
So women play a central role in Kwanzaa. Can you tell me more about that?
Sure. You know, not only do women cook, which is part of Kwanzaa, but they also do the lighting ceremony most times, and also they're the ones who do the whole outfits for everybody, and that's part of the unity part, and also just the role of bringing the whole family and the community together. That is the role of a woman.
So what does African dance do, like regarding Kwanzaa? Like, is there a special dance or?
There is no specific special dance for Kwanzaa because Kwanzaa is not African, it's African American. But there's so many dances you can incorporate into the celebration of Kwanzaa because African dance is just celebrating and being happy. Can you show me the bass?
That was so much fun. I hope you enjoyed learning about Kwanzaa as much as I did. I've drummed, danced, eaten some amazing African food, and learned more about the 7 principles of Kwanzaa, like umoja, which means unity. For CBC Kids News, I'm Eve Wedderburn. Until we meet again.
Awesome. I learned some things. Did you learn some things? Like Habari Gani, we can say that on December 26th, right? What's the news? And one of the most interesting things that I recently learned that's up here on our Advent calendar, actually, is that Dr. Malana, who conceptualized Kwanzaa and really brought it out into the American communities in the 60s, received a grant from the Unitarian Universalist Association to help fund that work for her. So there's a beautiful connection there. When you go to your classes and when you go to hospitality time, you can stop at the table that our racial justice ministry team has set up with information about the local Kwanzaa celebration that happens here in the Treasure Valley every year. It's on December 30th this year at 6 p.m. at Nampa Nazarene Church. A couple of boofers went last year. There are flyers out there. The racial justice ministry team is offering scholarships. It's $25. It includes dinner. And so if you need some scholarship support and you really want to go, please stop by the table and talk to them. And there you'll get to see the candles of Kwanzaa, and each one is labeled with the principle. They are in different African languages, each principle on the candle. So you can stop out there and take a look at those candles on your way to class, and then when you're off. So thank you, everyone, for expanding our horizons. We learn about the beauty and celebrations of Kwanzaa, and I hope some of you will be able to attend this year. Let's sing our community blessing together. I'll invite you to rise. Yeah, let's all stand. Let's have a moment, because December's almost over. What is our Earth teacher this month? Yes, Mac, you got us right there at our star, and we practice that by our star pose, opening up our whole bodies to receive the beauty and the wisdom of all of the celebrations from around the world. So let's sing our community blessing together. For any junior and senior high youth, there you are. You know where to go.
Each week, we light our flaming chalice, a symbol of our free faith, a beacon of hope, love, and justice. We join in lighting in solidarity with other Unitarian Universalist fellowships across the country who are also lighting chalices this morning. I want to draw your attention to our sanctuary tree wall where we find shared UU holiday history in the form of an Advent calendar. Each day shares a piece of holiday history connected to our Unitarian and Universalist history and identity, today, the 17th day of Advent, we open the Advent calendar door to see Rod Serling's Christmas specials from 1963. Though Jewish, Rod Serling always loved Christmas, maybe because his birthday was on the 25th. He became a UU while in college and later joined the Unitarian Community Church of Santa Monica. He wrote several holiday episodes and specials, including his own modern take on Dixon's Carol for Another Christmas. And he wrote a touching Twilight Zone episode, Night of the Meek. Today, we also honor the season of Advent, the season of intention and reverent anticipation of the miracles of the season. And so we will be lighting a third Advent calendar. We got calendars, we got candles. So we light our third Advent candle on our evergreen wreath, the candle of joy. In igniting these lights, we remind ourselves of the sparks of joy that light our path, even in the darkest of times. I invite those of you joining us virtually to light your candles this morning and share in the chat where your lights are lit. The call to worship this morning is adapted from a piece by Robert French Levins. Holy and beautiful, the customs which bring our community together, to recount its ideals, to recall its history, to give thanks and to make confession, to offer forgiveness, to dance the memory of the ancestors. Through this hour together breathes the worship of the ages, the cathedral music of identity, the reverence of celebration. Come, let us worship together.
Thank you, Patricia. We're a bit discombobulated today. Did you notice that I just did everything out of order? Sorry, tech team. And also, Patricia, it's the third Sunday of Advent, so I'm gonna. We're doing great today, friends. Voila. And just like that, it's the third Sunday of Advent. I was so into the Kwanzaa thing, I got our kids up here and got them out the door before we even lit the chalice. So as we were putting together the service, I thought it would be beautiful to try to find some traditions that we don't normally talk about. And we're so blessed that we have members of our congregation who are able to reflect with us about some of those traditions from their birthplace. So here to share a little bit about the traditions of Japan is Kumiko Lawrence.
Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa. Happy winter solstice. And I love solstice celebrations because the lengths of the day and the night are the same. I feel more balanced and calm. How about you? Okay, all over the world, people celebrate winter solstice in many different ways. In Japan, the citrus fruits called yuzu is symbolic winter solstice. We eat special yuzu dishes and put yuzu in our bathtub. It's so good. It smells good. Yeah. Because yuzu is golden yellow, it's the symbol of Amaterasu, the Shinto sun goddess. By the way, what is Shinto? Let me explain a little bit. When Buddhism came to Japan in the 6th century, Shinto was already there. Since then, both Buddhism and Shinto have expanded together in Japan. In Japan, people often ask, are you Buddhist or Shintoist? And many people may answer, I'm both. And me too, and I'm going to answer, I'm both. And in Shinto, we believe everything. Wind, rain, mountains and rivers, and flowers and animals. And even people, when you die, you become kami, and God. And we believe everything. There are thousands of Shinto shrines across Japan. They are places to worship and homes to kami, God. And this is the Ise Jingu, gate of the Ise Jingu in Mie Prefecture, Western Japan, where the sun goddess Amaterasu is worshipped. Amaterasu is the sun goddess. It's considered Shinto's most important kami, God. So today I will tell you the story of Amaterasu and the origin of the winter solstice with animated video we created with my husband Ken. The story of Amaterasu. Amaterasu was the sun goddess. She was highly respected and made people's lives bright and peaceful. But she had one problem. Her brother Susanoo was very naughty. One day, Susanoo became very violent and threw things at people.
Tree. I got out of my way.
Amaterasu was very sad about her brother's behavior. I've had enough, Susanoo. I'm sad. I need quiet time. She entered a cave and closed the entrance with an enormous boulder. Because Amaterasu is the sun goddess, this made the world dark. Evil spirits came out of their hiding places, and people's lives became very, very miserable. In despair, the village committee decided to trick Amaterasu into coming out by having a party in front of the cave. People village danced and sang around a bonfire. Hearing the loud music and laughter, Amaterasu was so curious that she peeked out outside. What was going on? Then, at that moment, the biggest and the strongest guy in the village took the rock away. The light started to fill the world again. As her light gradually grows, the day gets longer and longer. People decided to call this moment winter solstice. The end. Oshimai. Okay, in Japan, sun goddess Amaterasu is very, very popular. And people visit her shrine and do Amaterasu chant. And Amaterasu chant, you can do it in everywhere and anybody, yeah. So just think of, wish and chant Amaterasu, her name, 10 times. Well, Amaterasu Omikami, Omikami means great goddess, but Amaterasu, her name is just fine. So Amaterasu 10 times. So today, since Amaterasu, let's do it together, the wish, right? Okay. So Amaterasu is so generous, so she gave the booth people the special offer, not 10 times, 3 times. And you don't have to say, oh, just shorten Amaterasu, her names. Okay? Yeah, that's so. Yeah, that's the, yeah, Amaterasu, Amaterasu. Yeah, that's the yellow, bright, golden color is come, yeah, around you, and then I can see it. Very peaceful. Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, thank you very much. This is the Amaterasu story, and may your wish come true. ありがとうございました。
Thank you, Kumiko and Ken. Thank you. I heard the Louie Louie for calling her out of the cave. Beautiful, beautiful story. And thank you for sharing yourself and your culture with us this morning. It's that kind of sharing and connection that builds the bonds of beloved community, that feeds us together to know that even as we are so different, even as the celebrations and the meanings of life that we hold dear can be so different among us, we can still enjoy and learn from one another and feel that connection of our humanity. And it's in that connection that builds our own generosity and love and care for one another. And so we set aside a time each week for that practice of generosity, for that expression of care, for this community and its ministries and the ministry of our plate partner, the Idaho Crisis and Suicide Hotline. You know that there are many ways that you can make a gift online, QR code, in our traditional baskets, for all of the ways that you continue to give to support this fellowship and our plate partners. We are truly grateful. I invite our ushers to please come forward. Our offering will be greatly received. For centuries, before European colonizers arrived in what is now the United States, indigenous tribes across North America honored the winter season and solstice in a wide variety of celebrations and traditions. Sadly, many of those traditions and celebrations have been lost or altered because of the forced removal and assimilation of Native people by the colonizers. Today, tribal leaders and archaeologists and others are working to reclaim and archive those ancient traditions to bring them back into our awareness and consciousness. Some tribes, like the Blackfeet of our neighbors to the north in Montana, don't have large community gatherings or rituals involving much ceremony and prayer. Rather, they use the time to appreciate the reemergence of Natosi, the sun, with games and dancing and family time, and they symbolically place their teepees toward the rising sun in the east. Writer and Blackfoot tribal member Rosalind Lapierre remembers her grandmother recounting her own enjoyment of community dances at the time of the winter solstice, with each community holding their own small gatherings with unique drumming and singing and dance styles. Later in her own research, she learned that the Blackfeet moved their dances and ceremonies during the early reservation years, from times on their own religious calendar to times acceptable to the US government. The dances held at the time of the solstice were instead moved to Christmas Day or New Year's Eve. In northern Arizona, the Hopi tribe celebrates Soyal on the winter solstice. It's one of their most sacred ceremonies of the year. They do most of their rituals and prayers in underground spaces called kivas. It's a multi-day ceremony to honor the return of the sun. December is the month when the Kachinam, the spirits that protect and guide the Hopi, return from the San Francisco mountains and bring back the sun after long dark nights. The Kachinam are the messengers who send the prayers of the Hopi people into the universe for a prosperous and healthy new year for all of humankind. And in Cahokia, which was once located near the Mississippi River just across from St. Louis in modern-day Illinois, ancient indigenous tribes built several temple mounds or pyramids, similar to the ones made by the Aztecs over a millennia ago. Cahokia is the modern-day name for this area. It's taken from a tribe that lived nearby in the 19th century. The original tribal names were lost. It's one of the oldest pre-Columbian cities in North America. During the height of its flourishing between the 7th and 14th centuries, it had a population of close to 15,000 and became a center for trade and religious devotion. The indigenous people of the time built many of these temple mounds and pyramids very similar to the ones built by the Aztecs. And among these temple mounds stood a fascinating structure of tall wooden posts positioned in a circle, now known as or titled Woodhenge by those who discovered it. As scientists began to study the structure to learn about its purpose, they watched the sunrise from Woodhenge on the winter solstice and saw that the sun aligned both with Woodhenge at the top of the temple mound, a temple built on top of the pyramid, in the distance. And this is an artist rendering that attempts to capture that alignment. They also found that the sun aligns with a different temple mound across Woodhenge in the summertime, in the summer solstice. Like many native tribes that came after Cahokia, evidence suggests that the tribe worshipped the sun as a deity, a giver of life, and constructed many rituals connected with the agricultural year in hopes for prosperity. It's really unfortunate that so much indigenous history has been lost because of colonization and the forced removal from white settlers. And it can be really hard for well-intentioned, curious white folks like many of us who wish to learn and appreciate respectfully to know how to engage with these traditions while avoiding cultural appropriation. It requires a lot of humility, a lot of learning, and a lot of self-reflection. So in our cultivating reverence for Native American traditions, we are invited to listen attentively, to learn from their myths and stories, even the painful ones involving some of our own ancestors. We acknowledge harm. We advocate for their rights and sovereignty and seek repair wherever we can, asking the indigenous people themselves what repair looks like for them, instead of assuming we know the answer. And navigating these relationships can be really complicated. So cultivating that place of reverence invites us, reminds us to pause, to honor the resilience and endurance of indigenous communities and their profound contributions to humanity's collective knowledge. And honoring these traditions with reverence keeps us connected to our own values of justice, inherent worth and equity, fostering our own cultural humility and building bridges of solidarity. But it isn't easy. These histories are really entwined and enmeshed in settler colonialism. Like many other cultures, Native American music and celebrations have been influenced by all of the intersections of colonialism, birthing new styles of music as tribes inhabited space with settlers. And there's one such form of music called Muskogee Creek hymn. It's a tradition of music in the Muskogee Creek tribe, which was born out of a combination of African spirituals, Muskogee words, and congregational line singing brought from Scottish missionaries. Spirituals, Muskogee words, and ceremonies all combined together to create this hymn tradition. The Muskogee Creek people are descendants of native tribes that before 1500 spanned the entire southeastern United States. And today they are reserved mainly in Oklahoma and Alabama. Alabama is in the word for the name of one of the Muskogean languages. The early emergence of the Muskogee Creek hymn tradition occurred before the forced Indian removals in the area, and it's become a really unique genre in American and world history. And we happen to have one such hymn in our gray hymnal. It's number 336. It's called Hallelujah, which means hallelujah in Muskogee. And the song is universally recognized now as a symbol of cross-cultural goodwill. But instead of singing it together, I love you all are pulling out your hymnals. You can certainly look along. But I was able to find a beautiful recording from 1976 sung by a predominantly Choctaw congregation at the Mary Lee Clark United Methodist Church in Oklahoma City. It's from the album Chata Uba Ishtaloa by Cleland, Billy, and others. And so rather than sing it ourselves, which is a lovely practice also, I thought it'd be good to hear those native voices offering their gifts of music, inviting us into a moment of reverence and reflection.
Hallelujah, God is hallelujah, hallelujah, God is hallelujah. Mikos apalkit may manapokis, hallelujah. Mikos apalkit may manapokis, hallelujah, hallelujah, Yah God is hallelujah, hallelujah, Yah God is hallelujah. Iskinakal git may manapokit, hallelujah, po hele hele lo yan ya Kadesh hele hele lo yan ya Kadesh
I invite you to keep that spirit of Hallelujah in your hearts and join me in the spirit of prayer and meditation. Spirit of life and love, spirit of light in the season of darkness, spirit of ancient wisdom, spirit of the ancestors, holy mystery. In the music of others, may we hear love universal. In the prayers of others, may we feel transcendence and transformation. In the rituals of others, may we know the hope in our own heart. May we welcome the light of the world. In the celebrations of cultures not our own, may we delight in our own learning and see new beauty and feel more joy, cherishing the wisdom of ancient ways. In this season of darkness, may we seek the quiet peace where deep reverence lives. May we tend to the light within. May we remember our shared humanity, cultivating compassion, illuminating the world with acts of kindness and a love that knows no boundaries. In the name of all that is holy, we pray. Amen. So we close out our celebration time with the festival of Diwali from India. I invited Shakur Saran, one of our booth members whose family is from India, to offer his reflections about Diwali with us today, but he just had knee surgery. And so I see Shakur's family there, sending Shakur good wishes for speedy recovery. And Shakur has often shared with me his own perspective on the many commonalities between Hinduism and Unitarian Universalism. And in fact, he's working on a sermon for us delightfully titled Hinduism, with 2 U's, Hinduism 101. So as I was preparing to share a little bit about the festival of Diwali, I paid special attention to the ways in which this holiday might reflect some of our own UU principles and values. This 5-day festival of Diwali is one of the most important holidays on the Hindu calendar, and it's celebrated across faiths, Hindus, Sikhs, Jains, some Buddhists, by more than 1 billion people and its diaspora. Diwali comes from the word Deepavali, which means row of lights in Sanskrit. People light rows of traditional clay oil lamps called diyas outside their home and in every room on the inside to banish the darkness from their homes, from their communities, and to symbolize banishing hatred, jealousy, ego, enmity from our own hearts and minds. The lights of Diwali also represent that inner light that protects us against spiritual darkness. As Unitarian Universalists, we might see lighting our chalice in a similar way, a reminder, a practice of the light and the hope, a beacon of justice, especially in dark times. And that light lives within as much as we also let it try to shine without. And without that inner light, we might all succumb to total despair. But Diwali is far from despair. It is a wild celebration, and a celebration of many different stories in the Indian tradition. Most famously, it's linked with stories of the goddess Lakshmi. The first day of the festival marks Lakshmi's birth from the cosmic ocean of milk that was churned by gods and demons. It's also a day to celebrate the discovery of medicine. The first day's prayers are for protection from an untimely death. And the third day of Diwali is the day Lakshmi chose Vishnu as her husband and married him. But in southern India, Diwali celebrates the victory of Lord Krishna's destruction of the demon Naraka, who is said to have imprisoned women and tormented his subjects. And in northern India, Diwali honors the triumphant return of Lord Rama, his wife Sita, and his brother Lakshmana from a 14-year exile in the forest. Each of the 5 days tells a different part of the story and has its own specific rituals, everything from ensuring one's home is completely clean and freshly painted and purchasing new utensils to invite good fortune, while some families bang on pots and pans in order to scare bad fortune away. How many of you did any pot and pan banging in your own traditions? It's a fascinating cultural reference because I was just in a deep conversation with some Mormons the other day who said that pots and pan banging was something they learned in their Mormon families. And I was like, wait a minute. And I could not remember. It was Diwali. I was like, there's a cultural tradition of this. Where does it come from? So fascinating how that influence might have happened there. Banging pots and pans. Prayers for souls of ancestors feature prominently, as does all manner of feasting. I found it interesting that gambling, especially in the form of card games, is encouraged as a way of ensuring good luck in the coming year, and in remembrance of the games of dice played by Shiva and Parvati on Mount Kailasa and similar contests between Radha and Krishna. And Diwali kind of has this sort of thematic connection with Kwanzaa. Ritually, in honor of Lakshmi, the female player always wins. Have to play more of that in my house. Of course, fireworks are a central part of the celebration, lighting up neighborhoods and cities. And in all of its elaborate rituals and foods and lights, Diwali is also a time of sharing abundance with others, of feeding the poor. In all the traditions and celebrations we've honored today, we hear some common shared themes. The power of light, both practically and spiritually. In this darkest time of the year in North America, each of these celebrations honors the need for the blessing of light, both within and beyond us. We also see the value of community and connection in feasting and dancing and worshiping, in lighting lights together, in practices that are not typically done alone, but always in community. Rituals and traditions of any culture or religion serve as a way to honor and share and pass down wisdom. The wisdom of knowing who we are, who others are, where we come from, and the stories that matter and help us make meaning in our lives. And learning about other cultures and traditions helps us honor the stories of others, grow in our own appreciation, compassion, and reverence for our shared humanity and for the rich diversity and beauty found among us. So thank you for joining us in that shared celebration and learning today. We're going to close out our time together with a hymn. This hymn is in honor of Diwali. It is in our hymnal, Gray Hymnal number 197. It is called There Are Numerous Strings, based on the text by Rabindranath Tagore and then set to music. For those of you who are music readers, it's a little complicated structure in there. The refrain, which appears first in the first page of music, comes between each of the verses. So look for the verses labeled 1, 2, 3, and then we'll stick that refrain in there. Of course, for those of you like me that don't read music, follow the screen. We're going to have some fun. Let us rise in body or spirit. Let us sing this beautiful tune honoring Diwali together. Beautiful. I invite you to place your hands over your heart for this blessing. May the light honored and celebrated by many cultures around the world, the light of community, the return of the sun god and goddesses, to banish the darkness and bring forth good fortune and prosperity. May we carry that light along with our own in our hearts this season, connected, each to all. Blessed be. But don't go in peace yet. For now is the time of our honored tradition of the 12 days of Christmas. So for the newcomers among us, here's how it's gonna work, okay? There's so many newcomers. We have signs for each of the days 2 through 12. We all sing one together. We'll hand out these signs to various sections out there, and you and your section are invited at your verse, we'll all sing, to hold up your sign and do a little motion, like say for 2 turtle doves, Lyndon, what might you do? Slap your dove, Lyndon, I always watch Lyndon out there is like really into it. I thought Okay, fair. But you get the point. So, but here's what I'd like to have happen. Hold on, Wanda, I gotta figure this out. 5 golden rings. Here, I'll give you those. 5 golden rings. We're gonna invite those who want to be 5 golden rings to come up here to the chancel. We're gonna have 5 golden rings gather here at the chancel. 5 golden rings have a very special, specific way that you sing each time. If you've never sung 5 golden rings before, it's okay, come on up. We'll direct you. Oh, John, come on up, you're gonna have so much fun. We welcome all 5 golden rings. Here's your instructions, friends. Okay, some of you got them, yeah, good. Mm-hmm. Okay, so then may I, drummers, 12s, could you come and cozy up over here, and 11s, can you scooch in? In part, we're trying to involve our Zoom community. And however, Zoomers, you get 7 swans of swimming, okay? So you'll see that Nancy has your sign on the Zoom screen. She'll hold it up for 7 swans. So Zoomers, swim in your cameras when it's your 7 swans, okay? We can see you whether you're saying, thank you, Carol. I see you, Carol. I see you, Scott. doves, could we have you kind of congregate a little bit more over here? Thank you, turtle doves. Fair. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. Where's my 6s? 6 geese a-laying. 7 on Zoom. 8 maids a-milking. 9 ladies dancing. 10 lords a-leaping. 11 pipers piping. 12 drummers drumming. I think we might. Are we ready? We ready? We ready? Okay. Get your dancing hats on. Here we go.
On the third day
Oh, wait! One more time, friends. Hyper speeds. 12, starting with 12. Ready, Sue? Here we go! I think this may be the first year we have done this hybrid style with our Zoomers who did a fabulous job. Fabulous job. Thank you, everyone. Blessed are we all, piping birds, ladies, dancing golden rings. Go in peace. Thank you. That was good job.